Living in a safe environment and being the son of a police officer means that we have a plethora amount of guns in the house. Of course, they're locked in a safe. But when I was young, my dad told me not to touch any of the guns under any circumstance. As I grew older, I was taken down to a gun range and was taught how to hold them and even fire them. Upon hearing numerous stories and watching the news, gun violence has been on the uprise in these past years. As someone who typically cares about the safety more than anything, the question rises up: should Americans have easy access to guns, or should Americans not have easy access to guns? I chose to side with the point Americans should not have easy access to guns. Seeing as to how many deaths there have been in the past decade, I personally think us Americans shouldn't have easy access to guns. Having a gun near you, ready to fire at any given time, is a whole different level of responsibility, and most Americans aren't ready for that level of responsibility. The question of safety is followed up by that seemingly common answer: I understand that safety is an issue in America, but there wouldn't be nearly as much violence as there is today if we Americans had limits on purchasing guns. Of course, there will be violence, but not as much. More and more, mainly children and teens, are getting killed due to the gun violence. According to Injury Prevention and Control, Data and Statistics, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, it states that every day in the U.S., 9 kids are just shot unintentionally. 900 children and teens take their own lives every year, almost all with the parent's gun.
Wow.
Guns may ensure your safety, but do they really? Most of the time, people just buy guns just to show off on social media or try to fit in and be cool. According to Quinnipiac University National Poll on September 28, 2015, they stated that 90% of Americans support expanding Brady background checks to all gun sales. Only 6% of Americans are against expanding background checks. Some might even ask, well, how would I defend myself if I get assaulted? There are plenty of ways to defend yourself if something happens. There are lessons all over social media showing you ways to defend yourself against an attack, or even if you're being held at gunpoint. Guns aren't always the solution to every problem. Some problems can be handled in a different way. Some might say guns are harmless if they're just sitting there. While that may be true, a gun with nothing to keep it in place or nothing around it to guard it could easily fall into the wrong hands. By no means am I saying that all Americans shouldn't have guns. I'm saying that the only Americans that should have guns are the right people.
Yes.
Many background checks show people with mental illnesses. I understand that all people with mental illnesses aren't bad, but according to Los Angeles Times, there has been a high rate of potential mental health problems around perpetrators of mass shootings when the magazine examined 62 cases in 2012. The percentage was 61%.
Wow.
Experiencing a safe lifestyle for most of my life has caused me to think about the dangerous side more than ever. Seeing as to lots of recent deaths are to gun violence leads me to think that we need more restrictions on guns. Gun restriction, without a doubt, would change the death rates in the U.S.